Have you ever said yes when you desperately wanted to say no's? Have you ever stayed quiet just to avoid conflict, even when your heart was screaming to speak? Have you ever gone out of your way to please someone at the cost of your own peace, your own needs, your own well-being? Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here today, because this conversation might just be the wake-up call you've been waiting for. Today, we're diving into one of the most subtle, misunderstood, and dangerous patterns in modern life, the loss of personal boundaries. We're going to explore why living without healthy emotional, mental, and relational boundaries doesn't make you a better person. It actually leads to slow, invisible self-destruction. In a world that praises kindness, compassion, and selflessness, it's easy to confuse people-pleasing with virtue. But the truth is, constantly putting others first at the expense of your own truth is not noble. It's exhausting. Smart condensed is a form of emotional abandonment. Have you ever felt deeply tired, not because of physical labor, but because your soul is weary, because you're constantly holding up everyone else's emotions, expectations, and needs while ignoring your own? That's the fatigue of boundary collapse. Maybe you're the reliable friend, the one everyone turns to. Maybe you're the hard-working employee who never complains. Maybe you're the loving partner who gives and gives, even when there's nothing left to give. But deep inside, you feel invisible, overlooked, taken for granted, and sometimes resentful. That resentment is a message from your inner self. You are not okay. You need space. You need truth. You need care. But because we've been conditioned to see self-care as selfish, we suppress those signals. We ignore our needs. We silence our voice. We smile when we want to scream. We give when we want to rest. And slowly, piece by piece, we lose ourselves. This is what happens when there are no boundaries. So let's talk about what boundaries really are and what they are not. Boundaries are not walls. They're not barriers to connection. They are bridges to authentic relationships. Boundaries says, this is who I am. This is what I value. This is what I can give. And this is what I cannot give. Boundaries are how we protect our energy or time or values or peace. Imagine your life as a garden. Without fences, anything can wander in: wild animals, weeds, destructive visitors. But with clear fences, you can choose what enters and what stays out. You can nurture your flowers. You can grow fruit. You can rest in peace. But in real life, many of us were never taught how to build that fence. Instead, we were told things like, be nice. Don't make a scene. Don't disappoint people. Don't be selfish. Always help others. These messages created guilt around saying no, around asking for space, around putting ourselves first. So we learn to endure, to tolerate, to shrink ourselves. And this shrinking becomes our personality. We forget who we were before we learned to please. Let me tell you a story. There was once a woman who was known for being the most generous, helpful person in your neighborhood. She was always volunteering, always baking for others, always running errands. People admired her, but privately, she cried every night. She felt used. She felt unseen. She felt like a servant. What a person. One day, he collapsed from exhaustion. Her body literally could not continue. Near recovery, he began therapy. The therapist asked her, when did you learn that your needs don't matter? That question broke her. Because the truth was, he had never considered that her needs were allowed to matter. Her story is not rare. It's a story billions live in silence. And the root of it is the absence of boundaries. And we don't have boundaries. We say yes to things that drain us. We tolerate relationships that hurt us. We feel guilty for resting. We internalize others' emotions as our own. We mistake being needed for being loved. But love does not require self-betrayal. True love respects limits. Let's explore what a life with boundaries looks like. When you have healthy boundaries, you say no without explaining or apologizing. You ask for what you need. You leave situations that violate your values. You protect your time and energy. You surround yourself with people who respect your truth. You don't do this to be cold. You do it to be real. You do it because your authenticity matters, where well-being matters, where life is not a sacrifice to be made for others' comfort. And here's the most powerful truth. When you honor your boundaries, you teach others how to love you. Let's talk about the people-pleaser identity. It often starts in childhood. If you had emotionally unavailable parents, you might have learned that love must be earned through performance. If you had critical caregivers, you might have believed that perfection is the path to approval. If you were told, "Be quiet, don't argue, stop being difficult," then you probably equated compliance with safety. Somehow, as an adult, every time you assert yourself, you feel fear. Not because you're weak, but because your nervous system associates self-expression with danger. But this can be healed. You can rewire your responses. You can learn to say, "I am allowed to take up space. I am allowed to say no. I am allowed to have limits." Here's a practice. The next time someone makes a request, don't respond immediately. Pause. Rate. Ask yourself, is this a yes from my heart or a yes from my fear? If it's fear of rejection, guilt, conflict, then it's a no in disguise. And saying no is an act of self-love. Some people won't like your boundaries. That's okay. Your boundaries will offend those who benefited from your lack of them. But the people who truly love you will adjust, they will learn, they will grow, and your relationships will become more honest, more respectful, more free. Boundaries also apply to emotional energy. If you're constantly absorbing others' stress, negativity, or drama, you're not being supportive, you're being overwhelmed. You are not a dumping ground. You are not an emotional sponge. You are a human being with limits. It is okay to say, "I care about you, but I cannot hold this right now." It is okay to walk away from chaos. It is okay to choose peace. Boundaries are how we honor our humanity. Now, let's explore what happens when you begin to reclaim your boundaries. First, it feels terrifying. You feel selfish. You feel guilty. You wonder if people will leave. But then something shifts. You start to breathe again. You start to feel alive. You realize you're not here to be consumed. You're here to be seen, to be loved, to be whole. And as you grow into this new truth, you inspire others to do the same. Because every boundary you set says, you are allowed to be you, and I'm allowed to be me. This is not separation. This is sacred individuality. This is love rooted in freedom, not obligation. Let me leave you with this. You are not here to be everything for everyone. You are not here to meet everyone's expectations. You are not here to make everyone happy. You are here to be real. To be you. To protect your soul. That begins with boundaries. Thank you for watching this video. If this message spoke to you, if you recognized your story in these words, please share your thoughts in the comments. Let's support each other on the path of reclaiming our space or voice or truth. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more mindful content, and consider joining the channel to support what we do here. Your energy is sacred, your truth is valid, and your life matters. See you in the next one.